Hey guys, Pond here with another video for Rise of Empires, Ice and Fire. This is the next in my series of hero guides, and we are on to the second S2 hero. So let's have a look at who we're going to be reviewing today. Into super recruitment and onto the list as usual on the previews. So we just did Jade, so that means we're on to Witch Hunter today. So let's have a look at her. Witch Hunter is an archer hero, and she is a ranged hero. This hero excels at ranged combat, suitable for mid or back rows. Generally, most people will put her on the back row. Let's have a look at what skill she's packing. So, skill 1, as always, Dictator, up to 23,100 on the extra troops. And you'll notice I do actually have Witch Hunter, but I haven't even got one duplicate of her yet, unfortunately. When I do pick up one duplicate, then for her I would unlock the 8th skill first, because she is a back row hero, so troop numbers is not as important. It's about the damage that her skills, her combat skills can do for you. So I'm still working on that through fragments. She's the only back row archers hero I have at the moment as well. So as I've said many times before, my archers are horrendous. That's why I haven't even bothered finishing T9 archers yet. But anyway, enough of that. On to her second skill, Purifying Flame. Combat skill, so direct damage skill to your opponent's troops again. Effective range 5, so again, as usual guys, that range 5 means that if you put her on the back row, this skill will reach all 3 of your opponent's squads in their formation. And really good thing here, target is all 3 random enemy squads with an effective range. So that is already showing the difference on these later season heroes. Witch Hunter's first combat skill, her second skill, is going to attack all 3 random enemy squads. So that's really good. Looking at what it does require 1 turn prep, so that does mean that it's only going to activate a maximum of 4 times. Try to activate a maximum of 4 times because you have 8 turns in a battle. And then here is the negative on it: 30% chance, and that doesn't change when you level it up. So realistically, this skill is going to try and activate 4 times in the battle, but you've only got a 30% chance. Crunching the numbers, you know, it's likely this skill will only activate once in a battle, possibly twice. If it does activate though, it will attack all the squads for between 150% and 340% damage within the range, and of course the range is 5, so all 3 of the opponent's squads, and then give the burn status to the enemy squad. Witch Hunter is one of only 2 or 3 heroes in the game that have this burn status. What that means is it will then inflict additional damage lasting for 2 turns. So as you can see here, it will inflict 50% burn damage. So it's an interesting skill. If it does activate, potentially you're going to be benefiting from it for actually up to 3 turns because of this burn status. But you know, what if it activates on the 8th turn? You're not going to get the benefit of that, and potentially, as we've said, looking at the chance and the fact that it requires 1 turn prep, you know, it's more likely that it's only going to activate once or twice in the battle. Skills 3 and 4, as usual, defensive formation, leadership skill for the hero squad, increasing the resistance from 5 to 50% as you level it up. And skill 4 is the offensive formation, again, a leadership skill for the hero squad, troops in their squad, and then this time 5% might up to a maximum of 50% bonus might. Skill 5 is the second hero specific skill, Terrifying Presence, and it's a prep skill. Effective range is 5 again. This one is only going to target 2 of the enemy squads, so it'll be 2 of the 3 squads of your opponent. And good thing about this one, it's guaranteed for the first 3 turns of the battle, and it's going to reduce 2 enemy squad damage for between minus 30% and minus 75%. So that will be the basic damage that the troops do in those squads for the first 3 turns, and it has up to between 45% and then up to 90% chance to put the enemy to silent states, and that would mean unable to use combat skills. potentially then you've got a 90. If you max this skill, you've got a 90% chance for each of the first 3 turns to silence 2 of your opponent's heroes. So that is a really good benefit. It's a good debuff skill we're seeing from Witch Hunter there, even though she is a back row killer hero. Looking at the 6th Awaken skill, as usual, it's got several elements to it. Nothing special for Witch Hunter on this. It's got plus 15 up to plus 15% might and resistance, and plus 15% damage. And then the usual 250% bonus to leadership skills if you max it to level 10. So you'll need that to max your troop numbers, etc. And but as I've just said at the start of the video, for Witch Hunter, because she's a back row killer hero, you're not going to want to or need to unlock the 6th skill first. You should unlock her 8th skill, then her 6th skill, and then lastly her 7th skill, in that order. So the 7th skill, Discipline Archers. Again, as usual, this is a leadership skill, but this applies to all of the troops in the Hero's Legion, so all 3 squads in your Legion. And again, as usual, nothing new here. Between plus 13% and plus 40% might buff for all of the troops in your Legion. So that brings us lastly onto the 8th skill, Heaven's Smite. Again, it's a combat skill, direct damage skill, and again, it's range 5. And like skill 2, it will hit all 3 of the random enemy squads within effective range. So you can put Witch Hunter on the back row, she's going to hit all 3 of your opponent's squads. With this one, it's a 35% chance to attack all of the squads, and it will do between 50% and 130%, 35% damage within range. To be honest with you, that's quite low for a killer S hero as damage, but I guess if you factor in that it is hitting all 3 lines of the enemy there, it's still a reasonable amount when you total it up. It's around 400% damage if you times it by 3. And then interestingly, again, it will give the fire attack status to the squad, and then they'll receive an extra 142% damage, or between 70% and 142% damage, if you max it, again, this skill up to level 10. And that will last for 2 turns. So that is a reasonable amount of damage that you would be doing to all 3 squads if Heaven's Smite activates, and it's going to be impacting on your opponent for 3 turns. 35% chance. So again, you're looking at 2 to 3 times that this skill would probably activate in a battle. And if it does activate if it activates 3 times, then it's actually going to be impacting on your opponent because of this lasting 2 turns additional element. It's going to be impacting on your opponent for most of the battle. So it's a good consistent skill that does a fair amount of damage throughout the battle. So those are Witch Hunter's skills. As usual, we have a talk about her longevity. Talking about in terms of combinations, well, Witch Hunter does combine really nicely with Inqui, who is the other S2 Archer's hero, who you would put on your mid row. And we're going to be looking at him in the next couple of reviews. When you get in terms of back row heroes, well, you would have Witch Hunter up to S4. Then there is Jade Eagle, who would definitely overtake Witch Hunter as the kind of meta Archer's hero at that point. And after Jade Eagle, there is then Spectral Reaper, the SX hero. So Witch Hunter is a reasonable back row hero for your archers. She's 3rd or 4th in terms of how meta she is, and she's perfectly usable up to season 4, and particularly with that combination with Inqui as well. Again, as I always say, if you're not pay to play, you're not getting a massive amount of recruitment tickets or buying a lot of recruitment tickets, then you've got to go with what you've got. And again, Witch Hunter, she's a big upgrade on what you would get from a normal orange hero. You can see the level of damage that her skills do, how often they activate. That 5th skill is active for the first 3 turns automatically. You get the extra buffs from the leadership skills as well compared to the normal orange heroes. So she would be a good addition, guys, definitely to most people's accounts. And if some people are really strong with their archers, you know, you would have, if you're running 2 archers legions, then if you've got Witch Hunter, you know, you're going to be perfectly fine with her in your second archers legion if you've got either Jade Eagle or Spectral Reaper in your first. So there we go, guys. That is Witch Hunter. And looking on the list, the next in the series is going to be the Immortal. For me, the most important of the heroes in the S2 group. We're going to be reviewing him next time, and he is a cavalry hero, and that is going to be one you're not going to want to miss, particularly for those of you that are in the earlier seasons of the game. So thank you very much for watching, guys. This has been a Heroes Review video on Witch Hunter. As ever, if you haven't already, please do subscribe, ring that bell, like, share, and of course place any comments that you have in the section below, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thank you for all the support on the channel. It's growing every day. I'm so pleased with how it's developing, and thank you to all of you that are taking the time to message me in game as well. I really appreciate all your best wishes. So that's thank you so much for all your support with it. So this has been a series hero guide from me, Pond, and I will see you guys again soon.